It's Monday. It's about 8 p.m. I know it's bright outside, but just the time change. I don't know. It's just kind of bright out. But I just finished my run. I like to run every Monday and Friday just to set the tone. You know, people like to stereotype Monday as like this sluggish, slow day. And I just like to break that belief myself by doing some hard shit, every Monday and Friday. I do hard shit every single day, but I run Monday and Friday. I don't even do it for like the health aspect. I do it for, just the way it builds my mind, just the way it keeps me disciplined, just the way it keeps me, on my toes. And it just makes me uncomfortable. Like, I just have such a love-hate relationship with running. Like, thinking about a runner's high is like amazing. It's like a 10 out of 10 thought. But once I start running, I fucking hate it. I start breathing, hard. I start, losing my breath. I really have to control my breath. I really have to control my mind. And to me, it just really, like I said, it just sets the tone. And I just like to keep this momentum going, because I came up with this analogy. I don't know if I made it, but if you think about a campfire, like when it's on its last few fumes, you have to, have you ever seen anyone like I've seen like the professional like wildlife guys, like when the fire's about to die, they fan it and they blow on the flame, on the ashes, and then it comes back to life. It's kind of like that, right? I work full time. I work anywhere between 50 to 60, maybe more sometimes, hours per week. I'm not saying that that's super hard or anything, but I do that. I go to the gym, at least 5 times per week, 4 times per week. I run twice a week. And, I come from a background of being, this fat kid, this fat ass kid. My mom raised me. I grew up with no like father figure. So I had to build my own discipline from the ground up. I had to lose all the weight by myself. I had like nobody ever taught me what discipline was. Nobody ever taught me what, just being okay, being, in solitude and working on yourself. I never learned any of that. I had to teach myself all of that. That's why I was almost 300 pounds when I was, 14, 15, 16. And maybe around COVID year, I decided I wanted to make a change. I wasn't completely sure what direction, but I just started, right? I had no idea what I was doing when it came to fitness. I was maybe 280 pounds at my heaviest. I'll just say 300. But all I knew was I had to run, I had to move more and eat less and, try to eat healthier. So that's what I was doing. I had no idea. I lost 100 pounds in 8 months. I completely crash dieted. I picked up so many problems on the way: binge eating disorders, crazy body dysmorphia, bulimia, damn near anorexia. I've been through all of that shit. My voice didn't crack. I wasn't about to cry. I was just out of breath. I've been through all of that shit, right? But the one main lesson that I've learned through my, whole fitness journey, obviously now I've recovered and, I'm in the best spot of my life when it comes to fitness and, mental health. I'm just feeling amazing. And I blame it on, my discipline. I blame it on my routines, on my mindset, just my point of view on life, right? I come from a lot of shit and, I dug myself out of so many holes. And, I just don't take the little ass minuscule problems deep at all. I just brush it off. But the main, lesson that I learned from going through all my shit, through my fitness journey where I didn't know what I was doing, just learning, finding this sweet spot where, I'm 200 pounds now. I'm lean. I'm like 12% body fat. I feel like I have a decent physique. I've seen my abs. I can see my abs. I've been more shredded than this, The number one lesson that I've learned was to keep my momentum going. I have ADHD. I was talking about the campfire. Let me go back to it. Keep the momentum. Just keep the momentum going every single day. Like, for example, when I wake up, I have my morning routine. I take my supplements. I take a cold shower. When I'm driving to work in the morning, I pray for protection. I pray for gratitude. And I go throughout my shift and I'm daydreaming. I'm daydreaming about, like, literally through my whole shift. I feel like my job is like a side quest. I don't even know. I'm so focused on improving. Yeah, your job could be a part of self-improvement. Like I'm a truck driver. I just try to improve as much as I can. There's not really much room for growth there, but literally all day, I'm driving, I'm thinking about just excuse me. All day I'm daydreaming about my goals. I'm daydreaming about where I want to be. I'm daydreaming about the workout that I'm about to go crush. I'm thinking about all the meals all the healthy meals that I have lined up, for breakfast, lunch, dinner. When I bring my lunchbox to work, I can't wait to, I'm just daydreaming, I'm just daydreaming all day about getting better. When I'm daydreaming, I'm literally mental masturbating, and I'm not doing it on purpose. I just have like this deep desire to improve in every single aspect in life, fitness, career, relationships, righteousness, getting closer with God. And it's just, I'm literally in my work truck all day. Sometimes I work 14-hour shifts, 12, 6 hours. It just depends. I'm literally daydreaming, and it's like so passionate. It's like so deep that I literally get goosebumps, and I get like this rush of adrenaline when I just think of my future self just being the best version of myself. Just literally creating that person that I want to be in the future, and not only thinking about it, but acting on it, right? When I get home from my 14-hour shift, 12-hour shift, whatever, sometimes I have shitty ass days. We all do. I'm not making this, a sob story. But every single, like, for example, when I get home from a long ass shift, 14-hour shift, first thing I do, so I have all my meals planned, right? I have all my meals prepped in the morning. I eat one for breakfast. I just make it. I don't have to meal prep my breakfast. I just make it in the morning. Super easy. Greek yogurt, granola, and blueberries. My supplements, whatever. At lunch, I have maybe beef potatoes, beef rice, and then before the gym, I have cream of rice with, maybe some whey, some honey, and, some fruit. I have all those prepped, right? I make sure that I have food prep for like a 14-hour shift, because I never know. I may not eat it all because I might have a short day, but I still just keep it ready just in case. And if I have one of those long days, I eat all my meals. I eat my pre-workout meal, and that way I could have all like the carbs in me. I could have all this energy in me from my long day. I'm a truck driver, but when I unload, it's pretty labor intensive. I deliver, roofing material. I'm a truck driver. There's some days where I do no labor. There's some days where I do intensive labor, getting 20, 30,000 steps. On average, when it's busy, maybe 10,000. I at least get 10,000 every single day just at work. And then I still go run, so I'm maybe averaging like 10, 20,000 steps every single day. And, I get home, I'm tired as fuck. But the whole day I spent, mental masturbating. I'm a big fan of it, but I'm also not, because I feel like when you mental masturbate and you think about your future self, you really get a dopamine hit. I really get a big dopamine hit. It just makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I already got there. So when I get home, I'm like, I kind of slow down. Like I mentioned, the thought of doing something is 10 times better than actually doing it. When I think of running, I'm like, hell yeah, like I can't wait to go run. But when I start running, I'm like, fuck this. Like, why did I do this, or just stay at home? But that's when I have to double down. I have to lock in, because how I see it is, how dare I mental masturbate, think about this all day long, literally get an adrenaline rush thinking about my future self. I'm not going to act on it. Like, it doesn't sit right with me. The first thing I do when I get home, this is like every single day when I train, even when I don't train, but this is like my little routine after work. I get home, I usually have my pre-workout meal already in me digesting. I just drink some pre-workout. If not, if it was a shorter day, I have like a little snack before the gym, get some carbs in me, so I could have a good workout. Carbs are not bad for you. They'll really fuel you. They're your best friend when you're cutting down weight. I rehydrate, drink some electrolytes, drink some water. I just rinse off, right? I literally imagine myself just washing the day off. Whatever mishap happened, whatever bullshit, maybe I had a long day, manager on my ass, maybe my truck broke down, maybe I got some bad news from my family. I'm like, I get home, I reset, I completely wash the day off. I literally, figuratively and physically wash the day off, right? Because also, when I look good, I feel good, I'm gonna perform well. That's what I go by every single day, and that's just like my little motto, right? I like to look presentable everywhere I go. It's just a part of me, a part of who I am. And I wash the day off. I'm listening to some music. I love music. Music is a big part of my life. I want to even get into singing. I'll probably fucking record that shit, show you guys a little bit on my vlogs. But I love music so much. I'm always playing music, you know, R&B, you know, Mexican music, whatever, just to get the momentum building back up, right? Fanning that fire, not letting it die. Because if I get home, I lay down on the couch, maybe I lay down on the floor, maybe because my clothes are too dirty. Just the society like norms, right? Getting home, just like winding down, you know, you did enough today. You worked the 10-hour shift, 12-hour shift. That's enough, right? Like that'll be enough to make you the best version of yourself. Just get home, you know, eat some bullshit food, eat some fast food, some pizza, some McDonald's on the way home. Just fucking bullshit. Get home, argue with your wife, you know, just hate your life, but you know, you're kind of comfortable, so you just kind of go on the couch, lay down with the girl you don't really like, and you know, watch a movie, or you know, you just make the excuse of, oh, let's go eat, let's just go get some fast food. Fuck my goals, fuck my diet, right? I've literally been in that stage before, right? I've gave it all to a girl. You know, I gave her everything. I've given a girl everything, to the point where I lost myself and I lost her, because you know, I got cheated on after putting a girl first before my purpose, my goals. That was the biggest mistake I've ever done. And that's another big lesson. After I got cheated on, you know, after, you know, a 4-year relationship, I always have to make sure that I prioritize myself. It doesn't matter. I make sure that I'm always at my peace. I'm always doing what I have to do on a daily basis, not letting anything interrupt it, and just being happy with myself, being happy with being alone. Because you know, I went through a dark stage where, you know, I kind of lost all my momentum, right? I lost all my momentum because I gave it all to a girl. I lost myself and I lost her in the process, and it really fucked me up, right? So that's also another reason why I'm super disciplined, because I will never lose myself like that again. And I'll never put anybody else before my purpose, my goals, you know, my peace, my happiness. I always make sure that I'll be okay by myself. Like if someone wants to leave my life, then they can. That's how it should be. But back to my little routine. I keep rambling, I'm sorry. I get home, I wash the day off, like I said. I have the pre-workout, I have the carbs coursing through my veins. I have good music playing instead of just sitting down, you know, scrolling. I instantly put on a nice gym outfit that I feel confident in, that I feel comfortable in, that's just going to allow me to train hard, because look good, feel good, you're going to play good. That's what I go by every single day. And boom, out the door. All right, I don't need to eat. I don't need to do anything. I just take a shower, change, and get out the door. You know, I get to the gym. Sometimes, I'm not going to lie, I sit and park like this, you know, maybe sometimes scrolling. But I have to remind myself in those moments when I'm procrastinating, I'm like, okay, I think of this analogy. I've said it before in another video. I think of this analogy every single time. I have a cup, right? Let's pretend you have a bottle of energy every single day, and you have to pour it out. Regardless, you have to pour it out or you die or something, right? But regardless, the energy is going to go. It's going somewhere. Are you going to waste it sitting here and just scrolling on your phone? Like, you're just, like, imagine just pouring your energy out. Like, you have to get rid of it regardless. Why would you waste it on something so mindless, something that's gonna not help you, something that's gonna, you know, hold you back, push you back, not push you towards your goals? Why would you do that? Pour it out into scrolling, into some stupid ass shit, junk food, you know, not taking advantage of the maybe you had a long day and this is all you have right here. Maybe that's all you have, and you want to waste it on, you know, scrolling. You want to waste it on eating junk food. You want to waste it on arguing with somebody. You have to really channel your energy. You have to really be selfish with your energy. You have to take this energy, you have to fan it, literally fan it, make it last as long as possible, and pour it, instead of pouring it into the mindless activities, the bullshit activities, pour it into the good, you know, snapping out of it, going into the gym, snapping out of it, hitting abs, snapping out of it, you know, not going through that fucking drive-thru, instead parking at the grocery store, going inside, getting some groceries. The energy is going to get poured out anyway. Are you going to fan it and, you know, pour it into the right cup, or are you going to just fucking dump it into a void of nothingness? That's how I see it. That's how I snap out of, you know, being like just procrastinating. Because procrastination, in my opinion, is just like, it's like the little voice in your head just kind of delaying you, trying to see if you're going to fold, trying to see if like you could convince yourself to feel bad for yourself, you know, I've been through that shit many times. It's literally like, oh, maybe I'm tired, maybe like this, maybe that. You literally have to give yourself like no fucking excuses. You have to give yourself like no time to think. You just have to stick to the plan and nothing else. That's literally as simple as it goes. That's all you have to do. That's literally all it takes. I just made another video. I posted it. It'll already be up. It's just anger and obsession will take you longer than, will take you further than motivation and discipline, because that's literally I went through the same shit. I was so angry with my situation and I was obsessed with getting to the better version of myself. You know, I would fuck up a lot. I would mess up. I would, you know, overeat a lot. I would, you know, not go to the gym a lot. But I just got to a point when I was angry with myself. I was angry and I channeled it. I was angry at the world. I channeled it. Any L I took in the day, I would pocket that shit and I'd bring it out in the moments where I had no energy. I'll take all the L's, you know, whatever L is to you, getting cheated on, you know, getting, you know, your ass chewed out by your manager, you know, whatever your L is, I learned how to channel it, put it in my pocket for later, just being like, okay, just being like stoic in the moment, and, you know, channeling it, firing it up. Like, for example, today at the gym, this old head, this, you know, roided out, you know, juice head, you know, I was grabbing some dumbbells from the dumbbell rack, and he had some heavy ass dumbbells, and he thought, you know, everyone would just, like, obviously I would move for him if I saw him, but I didn't see him. And, you know, I was grabbing some, you know, maybe 30 pounds, 35 pounds, and he had like maybe 80s in each hand. He was struggling to walk, and you know, I didn't see him, and I kind of like looked to the right, and he was like, move, get the fuck out the way or some shit. I had my headphones in, I was like, no, it's not worth it, just stop. I was like, just stop. And I was like, okay, bet. I just put it in my pocket. I just remembered it on my run. Tomorrow, I'm gonna maybe see him. I'm gonna just remember it. I'm gonna just channel it and push it out. You know, learn how to just push it through a different lens. That's all it's about. Follow my Instagram. I'm a whole lot more active on there. I'm gonna really start pumping these videos out. I'm really motivated. I'm really in that grind. I'm in that grind mode right now. Like, subscribe, and let me know what you guys want to see. I'll see you in the next one.